Why is it that intelligent people procrastinate? Why is it that people that are so self-motivated often self-sabotage? And why is it that no matter how many new business opportunities we get or new skills we try to learn, many of us just are simply finding different ways of earning the same amount of money or achieving the same kind of level of success, as if there was kind of a glass ceiling above our head that we were trying to break through but didn't know how? Now, one thing we do know is it's not down to lack of resources or opportunity. We live in a time in history where there are more resources and opportunity than ever before. In fact, there's many people that have access to resources and opportunity that really never get the bat off the shoulder and take a swing at life. And the results are mediocre or disappointing. There's 3 tips that I want to share with you that'll help turn this around. Now, and I'm a pretty simple guy, so I want to give you some pretty simple tips. And I'll break it into 3 things. The first is, stop putting the wrong things in. You see, as I said, we are adaptation machines. Our bodies, our physical bodies adapt to our environment. We don't get to choose that. We only get to choose the environment we put them in. If it's the gym or McDonald's, the body doesn't care. Its job is to adapt. But it's the same with our mind. So stop putting the wrong programming in. In other words, if you think of the 2 biggest things that impact us unconsciously more than anything else, it's the mainstream media and our peer group of who we hang with. Let's touch on the media for a second. Now, for those of you that still think that the mainstream media is about reporting the news, I've got news for you. You're in Disneyland. See, the job of the media is not to report the news. Are you kidding me? The job of the mainstream media is to stimulate another part of the brain called the amygdala, which is designed evolutionarily to notice negative before positive, so that they can hook your attention out of the mass of the crowd and record you as a viewing statistic to justify rate cards and advertising. The media is not a charity. So I haven't watched a news report or read a newspaper for pretty much 17 years now. Yeah. For those of you that still watch things like, is it CNN? Constant negative news? I got news for you, right? From what I understand, it's all the same news. It's the same news it was 17 years ago. It's just happening to different people. And so you cannot watch the news and be positive. It's like saying, I want to be healthy and I smoke. It just doesn't work. You can go to the gym as many times as you want, but if you're smoking, you can't be healthy. It's a binary equation. And if you're being programmed by the mainstream media, you can't have that default magnetic north move away from being negative. It's constant programming. People say, well, how do you know what's going on in the world? I'm like, you kidding me? Yeah, everything's going on in the world. A far better question would be, what do you want to choose to focus on? Think of the Amazon rainforest at night. Yeah, everything's going on, but the media want to take your little flashlight in your hand and point it and say, oh my goodness, look at this. It's a snake eating a rat. Versus you saying, yeah, but have a look at this hummingbird being born. So it's a choice. See, I have no clue what's going on in the world. I have every clue what's going on in my world. And if something's important enough, it'll find me. So stop programming yourself with why the world won't work and start taking charge of where you point your flashlight. Now, the other thing is about peer group. Now, some people say, yeah, I could probably change my friends, and some of us maybe should, but I can't change my family. Yeah, my brother's the most negative person I know. My mother-in-law is always telling me I'm not good enough for her son or whatever it may be. Well, I know that we can't change our family. And you know, looking at the reasons why you chose your parents is another TED Talk. But the best advice I can give is love your family, choose your friends. Now, the second thing, start putting the right things in. Now, we live in a time in society where there's so much great information, whether it's a podcast, whether it's inspirational interviews, whether it's books or the lives of some of the people we looked at earlier. Every single day, or at least every single week, if you want to take your compass needle and start remagnetizing it in a positive direction by exposing yourself to the kind of information that supports your potential and your greatness and where you want to go. Yeah, there's no excuse for not being able to do that now in a society where it's so available. But if you're not choosing to do that, by default, you're going to be hooked into somebody else's agenda. If you don't start filming as the star of the movie in your life, by default, you're going to end up as a film extra in somebody else's. And then the third point, get the things that shouldn't be in there out. What do I mean by that? You know, work with a decent mentor or a coach that understands how to navigate the minefield of human behavior. Somebody that isn't just going to teach you skills, but somebody that can reach in and find those unconscious patterns and be able to rip them out for good. I'll give you an example. I had a client come to me a while back who said, I want to learn time management. Now, a normal coach or what have you would probably teach them some good time management skills. But within 2 minutes, it was easy to see that time management wasn't the issue. The real issue was his inability to deal with rejection. And therefore, he wasn't saying no to people, because by saying no, it would trigger a rejection response. And therefore, he was saying yes to too many things, and therefore there was too much on his calendar, and therefore he thought he needed time management. You get the idea? You see, when we're able to start addressing things like our unconscious programming, when we start to create the best habits that we can by programming ourselves consciously, when we start grabbing that compass needle and bringing it over to the right direction so that the 95% of the time we're sleeping awake, we're able to be who we need to be, that's when we can start to achieve the real game in town, which is self-mastery. See, before you spend another penny on workshops or skills or anything, work on yourself. See, mastering the game of self throughout human history has been the #1 recommendation of virtually everybody that achieved it and then preached the benefits of it to people that usually weren't listening. But by mastering our sense of self, we're able to walk into a room where everything's descending into chaos and retain our center. When everything's breaking down around us with the eye of the storm, it's like, move, I'll handle it. See, that's the best way that you'll be able to handle uncertainty. And when we commit to self-mastery, we give ourselves the best shot of becoming the best and greatest versions of ourselves that we can be. And then we get to become the example and the invitation to others, not the imposition. Nobody changes because you tell them to. People change because they're inspired to change, and we can only inspire them by being the example and the invitation. And at that point, we have a chance of being able to really make a change in this world, make a difference, which is what the world needs right now.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more future videos like these. Until next time, enjoy Decoding Adulthood.